What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Celio's Network. We've got some more expanded results from the Limitless Weekly number 11 held on December 11th. I'm really happy that people are playing expanded and tournament organizers are holding expanded events right now, since we don't have real life events going on, because I do enjoy expanded format more than standard currently. And I like to see it being explored and seeing the decks and the metagames kind of centralizing more and more every week as more people become interested in the format. And there's also meta shifts happening as well. As you can see on the screen, Coalossal was the most played deck this week. So we're going to take a quick look at the results, and then we're going to take a closer look at the first place list. But first, shout out to PotownStore.com, the best place for you to get PTCGO codes, and be sure to use code CELIO for 5% off. So like I said, Coalossal was the most popular, had a really decent win rate as well. Pika was the second most popular, and then Dragapult Garbodor and Garchomp Tina tied for third and fourth. So issues I have with the format: the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decks are based around 3 prize Pokemon, and I just despise 3 prize Pokemon. But it is pretty varied. There are a lot of decks you can play. There's also 14 decks in the other section if you want to go click on those and look through all of the wacky stuff people played. But over to the standings, Coalossal, piloted by Gabriel Fernandes, got first place with a 10-1 record, and that's going to be the focus of this video. But I did want to just briefly go over the top 8 was 5th through 8th was 2 Pika, a Turbo Dark, and Dragapult Trashalanche, or Dragapult Garbodor. Both of the Garbodors are in there. Top 4 was Eggrow Vileplume Decidueye and ADP Turbo Dark, and second was Toward Reklev with Pika. Real quick, we'll take a look at Burt Walters' ADP Turbo Dark, just because it is a bit unique that he is playing ADP and Double Dragon Energy and Ultra Necrozma in this Turbo Dark. This was kind of how people tried to start building Turbo Dark about a year ago. I guess a little less than a year ago, when we got Sword and Shield and we had like one expanded event actually happen. Over in Japan, there was some lists with ADP combined with Turbo Dark, so people in North America wanted to try it as well. It didn't pan out and see a lot of success, but it seems to have done well for Burt here. So that's ADP Turbo Dark. And then I also wanted to mention the Eggrow was playing Mr. Mime Bench Barrier, which I think is pretty interesting. I wouldn't have included it myself. It stops like Cramorant sniping your Vileplume right after you evolve it. Pretty much it stops them from sniping something right after you evolve it. I'm not entirely sure if it's worth having around, but a unique inclusion that I wanted to note. And now we will take a look at Gabriel Fernandes's first place Coalossal list. So I did have 3 of my own expanded Coalossal lists built. I had one with Magcargo, one with Octillery, and one with Electrode GX. The ones with Magcargo and Octillery, of course, are based around using the first attack a little bit more, while the one with Electrode GX was based around using the second attack. And I did have a video on that on this channel if you want to check that out. So this variant of Coalossal and Expanded is focusing on using Smooth Over and or Primate Wisdom to set the top card of your deck for Eruption Shot. We'll just take a quick look over at Colossal Vmax. The Eruption Shot attack for 1 fighting energy does 40 damage, and then you discard the top card of your deck. If that card is an energy card, this attack does 90 more damage, and attach that card to this Pokemon. So you do 130 base damage, and you accelerate an energy to Colossal Vmax. Colossal Vmax has 330 HP. With buff padding, it has 380 HP. The stone energies, of course, reduce damage done to Coalossal by 20 damage, while also providing fighting energy. And the strong energy makes your attacks do 20 more damage, while also providing fighting energy. So Colossal Vmax can tank damage really well due to its HP, its typing, and its retreat cost lining up with buff padding, and it can also deal a lot of damage. It deals 150 for Eruption Shot when you have a strong energy on. If you have a strong energy and a basic fighting energy, because of Martial Arts Dojo, if you're behind on prizes, it does 190. If you're even or ahead on prizes, it does 160 with the Martial Arts Dojo. because Colossal Vmax is so tanky, you can heal damage off of Colossal Vmax and try to make your opponent have to reapply damage and play the tanking game, which is something I really love about this variant of the deck. So Gabriel Fernandes. Gabriel Fernandes was playing Acerola and Max Potion. So 2 Acerola and 2 Max Pot. Notably, Gabriel Fernandes was not playing an Ace spec. I imagine they just didn't have one to put into the deck. Maybe expanded isn't something they play a lot. So I know for a lot of players, I think Gabriel's not from America. Yeah, Gabriel is from Brazil. And so I know a lot of non-North American players don't really have expanded cards. So not having an Ace spec is something that is pretty common for players who have never played expanded before. But if I were to play an Ace spec in here, it would probably be either Dowsing Machine in place of the Versus Seeker, or the 4th Versus Seeker, a Computer Search just in place of whatever you felt you could cut, maybe like the 4th Ultra Ball, or even the 4th Versus Seeker again. I usually feel pretty comfortable with 3 Versus Seeker, but especially if I'm playing Dowsing Machine. And then another one you could add is Scramble Switch, so you can switch off your energy, then Acerola, or then Max Potion. So I would probably choose between Comp Search, Dowsing Machine, Scramble Switch, if you could get your hands on one of those, if you wanted to play this deck and expanded. But he won the whole tournament without an Ace spec, so it goes to show you that you don't need an Ace spec. So Magcargo and Oranguru really pair well with the Eruption Shot, because Magcargo's Smooth Over lets you search your deck for any one card and then put it on top of your deck. So you could just do that and then Eruption Shot, and if you don't have a Magcargo out, you could always Oranguru Primate Wisdom the energy to it. But Magcargo Oranguru also acts as a draw engine, because you can search for any card, put it on top of your deck, and then Oranguru to replace that with something from your hand. So if you have the fighting energy in your hand already, you can put the card that you want on top with Magcargo, then switch it with Guru. So you draw any card you want, and you switch it with the energy card in your hand, and then you use Eruption Shot to do extra damage, accelerate energy. And the other damage modifier I didn't mention was Diancie Prism, which has Princess's Cheer's ability. As long as this Pokemon is on your bench, your fighting Pokemon's attacks do 20 more damage. So I believe earlier I said the max you could do with Eruption Shot was 190, so bump that up to 210 with the Dene GX. So another really great thing about this deck, so we have the energy acceleration, the high HP, the healing, we have damage reduction and damage modifiers to do more damage. Also, being fighting type means you're hitting really popular Pokemon for weakness. So Eternatus, Zoroark GX, Snorlax VMAX, Pikarom, Raichu, Boltund. There's so many fighting weak Pokemon. And then of course your Eruption Shot can just knock out Crobat V and the Dene GXs, because they're weak to fighting as well. So it just has such good typing for this format. And I'm really happy it's catching on, because I do think it's such a strong card. And it's one of those cards where just in a vacuum, like looking at the card itself, it doesn't look very strong. And we don't get cards like that too often, where the card itself doesn't have everything it needs printed on it, but it has the strong energy, the stone energy, the buff padding, Diancie, other Pokemon being weak to it, not a lot of Pokemon hitting it for weakness. So there's a lot of things going for Colossal Vmax. I think this list is really, really good. I would just get an Ace spec in there. I think the easiest one to add, like I said, was take out the 4th Versus Seeker for a Dowsing Machine. But Scramble Switch could also be really, really cool. And Computer Search is always just like a default Ace spec to consider. So I hope you enjoyed this kind of deck profile on Colossal Vmax, and also the bit of a wrap up on the expanded metagame right now. If you are looking to play in an expanded event, you can go to play.limitlesstcg.com, click Tournaments, click completed, upcoming, wrong tab, click upcoming, and then just scroll down and you can see all these tournaments. They have tournaments listed up to January 30th, but as the weeks go on, keep checking back. You can see there's an expanded event here on December 13th, an expanded event the 15th, the 16th, the 18th, the 29th. So tons of expanded events coming up, but also way more standard events. So if you're looking to play in tournaments, play.limitlesstcg.com. Be sure to go check that out. And I hope you enjoyed this deck profile and quick expanded metagame review. Shouts out to Gabriel for winning this event with a really cool Colossal Vmax list. Shout out to PotownStore.com, the best place for you to get PTCGO codes. Be sure to use code CELIO for 5% off. If you need any of my links like Twitter or Twitch, that's down in the description below. Be sure to leave a like and a comment on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for daily Pokemon TCG content, and I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.